Hey beauties, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the one and only Clean Beauty Podcast. Did you know that in America, cosmetics are not regulated? Companies are free to add thousands of potentially harmful ingredients that personally cause me to have health problems. Hi, I'm the creator of Lash Binder and your host, Cassandra McClure. I've worked in the beauty industry worldwide for over 10 years as a wedding and celebrity makeup artist. Now, I'm on a mission to ban 1,500 ingredients by advocating for cleaner and greener cosmetics. Join me every Monday right here for a new episode on the Clean Beauty Revolution. This episode is proudly sponsored by lashbinder.com, a patent-pending tool that I developed to be the quickest, easiest, and safest way to apply lashes on yourself and clients. If you've ever tried applying lashes, you either use your fingers, which is pretty hard to master, a pair of tweezers, which can be super scary, or you were lucky enough to have a friend like me help you. Those days are long gone with Lash Binder, an applicator that'll have you looking fabulous in under a minute. Are you ready to say goodbye to expensive, damaging, and time-consuming lash extensions or hours spent in the mirror applying makeup? Don't you wish you could apply lashes easy and just go? Let your skin glow and your confidence skyrocket with the perfect pair of lashes applied with Lash Binder. Lash Binder is truly the lash tool you'll ever need. Be the first to get your hands on one today, exclusively at lashbinder.com. Be sure to find us on Instagram at lashbinder, LASHBINDER. Links in the show notes. Happy lashing! Hey everyone, Cassandra here. This is going to be a super special episode because I have Guyanne here in the studio and she's actually going to be interviewing me and asking me some questions. We did a really cool private interview with some of the other girls that were considering coming on to be consultants with Beauty Counter, but it was a lot of general information that can be translated into other businesses or network marketing companies. And literally, come on, that's like the next big thing. It's like the number one site in the world right now is Amazon because everyone's going online. But a lot of people are getting referred there or using a code or a special link from one of their friends or family or someone that they follow. And I really just wanted to kind of revisit the video because not everyone has time to go online and read a blog or watch a video anymore. And so I wanted this to be accessible through the car or the gym or wherever you are. I actually read a study last week about where most people listen to podcasts, and over 58% of them, over half, listen in their home or office. So thanks to everyone that is doing the dishes, taking care of the kids, getting shit done at home, and actually multitasking, because as women, I feel like we actually can do that. So that's really cool. So first of all, before we get started, I really want to talk about last year in 2018, which wasn't so long ago. The most Googled beauty brand or company in the world was Beauty Counter. And that is something that you can't buy. It's not something made up. It's undisputed. It was in every blog you can find. You can look up what the top Googled brand was, and it was Beauty Counter. Why? Because they're doing something right. Because everyone knows that every decision that they make is important and making an impact. Everyone understands that their actions work greatly beyond just their little home or business. It's much further, and that the dollars go much further, and that they're voting with their dollars. And so whether someone was looking up Beauty Counter and they were just interested because one of their friends threw a little workshop or hosted a pop-up event or shared some products, or you saw someone pull it out of their purse and wear it out, like a lip gloss or something, or it was literally something you found on a blog. Actually, yesterday, our founder was on the Today Show. It's been on Celebs on the Red Carpet. You see it tagged everywhere. Beauty Counter is one of the cult makeup brands at the top right now that is not only clean, it's sustainable. It is actually like something as a professional artist that I never thought was possible. So it's a really beautiful brand and beautiful packaging. It's super luxe. I don't want to say the other brands that it compares to because it doesn't even really compare. But the packaging is amazing. And so I'm just going to let Guyanne pop in here. She's going to ask me a couple of questions. Obviously, I've answered some of these before, but she's going to ask me things in a little bit different of a way that makes me think and is a little bit fresh for the listeners. So here we go.
Hey, I love working with you. This has been seriously one of the funnest, I know it's bad grammar, but I don't care, the funnest things that I've ever done because I'm so not a beauty girl. If you ever see me, you'll totally not understand how we're even friends. But it's your energy and just everything that exudes from you is it's so positive. It's so inspirational. And it's been such a joy for me as a mentor to see you embracing everything that you're working on, helping other entrepreneurs, other women, other business owners, other people who have dreams and aspirations, really taking everything you've learned, even if you don't know it all, taking it and working with them to help them grow and grow with you and just do all the things that everybody talks about, but nobody actually does. So that's, sorry, that's just my fangirl moment.
Thank you
for
so
you.
much. I love you.
And this is so crazy. I love that it's Beauty Counter that brought us together. It was the most random thing in the world. And I love to tell people that when people ask, how did you two get together? I'm like, I picked her up in a bar.
Literally.
And it's totally true. I was there doing a Beauty Counter pop-up for someone else on my team. And I saw her sitting in a corner helping someone else.
I was mentoring a photographer who was trying to expand her business. And I was giving her all these tips and tricks. She was going on an international trip and I told her what to do. I had lived internationally. I gave her every resource possible. And by the end, she was hugging and thanking me and couldn't wait to implement all of the strategies that I gave her to go into her business. And then she joined Rising Tide. And then I walked her outside and literally it's like somebody tapped me on the shoulder and I remember walking and then I stopped in my tracks in my little heels because I wear heels everywhere. And I was like, I have to go back in. There was makeup. And so I walked back into the bar slash little lounge.
It was a wine bar. It's not like
it was a wine bar. I was eating cheese. It was really cool. And I was like, I'm just going to go swatch and I'm just going to be really quiet because I don't want anyone to recruit me for anything. It looks very, suspicious. Things, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm suspicious and I need to be careful because someone's just going to try to take money from me. So and I had, not a lot of money. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to look. I saw a palette and I want to swatch it. And so I walk back in and I start swatching and then I see someone coming to me and I'm like, slowly turning away because I don't want them to talk to me. And it was Guyanne. And she was like, hey, here's a glass of wine. See you later. And I was like, what just happened? She just gave me free wine. And I was like, okay, now I can swatch again. So I was swatching. And then I was like, okay, my arm was full of colors. I was like, looked at every single thing there. I had done the lotions, everything. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to kind of talk about this. So I was like, hey, so what is this? And she's like, oh, so this is Beauty Counter. It's a clean, sustainable brand. The story is best told person to person. And we're all about just, we're clean. We're from California. Our headquarters is in Santa Monica and we are a certified B Corp. And I was like, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. What is this palette? I would like to, try this palette. Still didn't say I'm a makeup artist because I didn't want to be like targeted. And I was just like, cool. We literally sat, I don't know, an hour, two. The place was closing down. We couldn't stop talking. Nathan's
We're like
texting me.
eating nuts and drinking.
I know. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. And by the end of the night, I know this is crazy, but I was like, here's my credit card. Just take all my money. And it was ridiculous. And after the card went through, it didn't go through. The card didn't go through because we accidentally added
like
three.
$23,000.
We accidentally pressed the cart button like 10 times and it was like $23,000 and my card didn't go through. And I was thinking, oh, this is God giving me a sign that I need to do my research. And I was thinking, oh, okay, this was, a sign for me that I need to go home and research. So I went home. I started doing research. The first thing I Googled was beauty counter scam because I wanted to know. I wanted to know if it was a
That's the first
scam.
thing I researched too. I love that.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, is this a scam? And I found a video and I started watching it. And the lady was like, this is everything but a scam. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Like you can't Google any company and not see like people hating on it. And so I was like reading reviews, reading people's testimonials, like going all over the internet. And then the second day, like 2 days later, I was like, all right, Guyanne, hey, I'm still here. Thanks for giving me your number. Please, I want to be on your team. I want to talk to you more. I need all these products. Like I need to implement them into my life and I want to do like a cleanse. I want to do a detox. So I tried, and she told me about fragrance. Like I had already been learning about it, but she kind of told me about how there's a lot of toxic ingredients in makeup. And I was looking for a sustainable brand, but I wasn't really necessarily looking for clean. I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't really know what was clean, what wasn't. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go on this journey. I'm just going to try some stuff. So I got rid of, I came home. I like unplugged my Glade air filter. I got rid of the soap and the lotion and the body spray, the Victoria's Secret that I use every single morning for 10 years of my life. I got rid of the Garnier shampoo conditioner that smells amazing that my fiance comments on it. Like he loves the smell. And I had shampoo and conditioner I was using for years. I had an oil and some other stuff I was using. And anyways, I got rid of everything that had fragrance. I looked at the back. That was the only ingredient that I knew of. And that's why you hear me talking about it because I didn't really know of much else. Like I just started this journey. And so I was like, I'm just going to get rid of everything with scent. And I was currently going to the doctor. I was having problems. And so they were saying that I had to spend, like at least $5,000 for the year to take shots and do all these medical procedures and stuff. And it scared me. And so I was like, maybe I have a reaction. And so I got rid of everything, replaced them with I was going super crunchy. Like I didn't use deodorant for like a week. I didn't use a lot of things because I didn't have anything without fragrance because everything I looked at had fragrance, even eyeshadow from Tarte, like everything had fragrance. So I didn't use anything for a couple days. And by the third day, Nathan was like, oh, your cheeks aren't red. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I feel way better. I could see clearer. Like my eyes were not watery when I woke up and when I went to sleep. Like I saw physical change in the mirror and like no lotion or body cream or any product ever in my life ever made me feel better. And it was like because I didn't use the product. So I was like, holy shit. I had to tell everybody. So I was like, who's everybody? Facebook. Okay. I have a lot of people on there I could tell. So I started telling people on Facebook. The video that I posted went viral. And then I was like
crazy viral. I remember that.
And then I was like, okay, how can I talk to more people? Let me share it to some groups. Okay. How can I talk to more people? Let me start a newsletter. And Guyanne was like, yeah, like talk to everyone you have like an email. And I looked at my email list from Google that I had over the years. And I'm like, oh wow, I have like 1,500 people. Like I could talk to people. So I sent out a newsletter. I was like, hey, here's my journey. Here's a photo of my back getting pricked at the doctor. And here is a YouTube of me fucking scared while I'm getting a shot because I'm so sick that I don't know what's wrong. And then a week later, I'm fine because I got rid of everything that was toxic in my house. So once I started sharing that story, it was kind of like, okay, this is a real, this is my experience. I can't believe it. And then the crazy thing was when I started having women reach out saying, I actually have a gluten allergy. I have psoriasis. I have this, I have that too. I stopped using stuff and these are my experiences. And I was like, holy moly. So I was like, okay, I have to talk to, how can I talk to more people? And I always had the dream of having a podcast. So I was like, I got to launch this. I got to tell my story. I got to reach even more people. And so now we're here. And now I'm speaking at literally one of the biggest summits in the world in March next month at Alt Summit. I'm speaking on clean beauty. I'm holding a workshop. Literally, my title of my workshop is Clean Beauty is Better Than You Think, because most people think of clean beauty as expensive, unattainable, and that doesn't work. And it's true because I also thought those things. I didn't think I could shop at those places. And even though I shopped at Sephora, I just like felt like the brands did such a better job at marketing to me. And they did, it's true. But after finding out what I did, I couldn't unknow it. There was no part of me that was like, I'm going to go back. I'm just going to use MAC on my like off days. No, I couldn't use it because I felt a physical difference. And so when I shared that, it was so powerful that other people were like, I need this. I want to be with you. I'm on your team. Nobody in my family or my friends ever heard about like clean beauty before. And before, my company was luxury beauty. I was all about like Chanel and YSL and all these luxury brands and my kit. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, I'm clean now. I can't use those. I literally gave them away or took them to disposed of them. And so it was pretty interesting to make that shift in my life. And I lost clients. I don't care. And I lost a lot of money in the process because it was, for me, I feel like I poisoned my body without knowing. As a professional makeup artist, I feel like I should have known. And so for someone else to feel like they are going on this journey and feeling intimidated that I'm an expert or that I'm a makeup artist, so I can do it and all these things, it's not true, because I made I'm the biggest example of them all. I made a fool of myself and I was potentially getting my clients sick. Like if I lived my entire life and found out when I was 80 about clean beauty, I would be really, 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 really sad versus going through the doctor every single week for shots, right? To sit into a doctor's office and I couldn't drive because they told me it was too dangerous to drive after I got shots for an hour and they had to check my vitals to make sure it was okay for me to drive in a car versus me getting rid of, like, no one ever asked me a question. What shampoo do you use? Oh, what products are you putting on your body? Oh, you're a makeup artist? Maybe you're using these things. Like I would go in to work with clients and they would always say, what's wrong? Because my eyes were watering. It looked like I was crying all the time. I now put on mascara and I don't cry. My nose isn't running all the time. It's pretty amazing. Nathan has seen a huge shift in who he met when, like me, he met me 3 years ago to now. And he's like, wow, like you used to be so inflamed. Your voice is different because my sinuses are not clogged. It's pretty awesome. So that's kind of the backstory, but it's pretty amazing that a mission, like sustainable project that I volunteered to do through, it's funny because it goes mission to mission to mission. If I think about it, I'm like, okay, how did I meet Stephanie? I met Stephanie at Sustainable Project, who founded Sustainable Project with me. She needed makeup for her wedding, but I met her at an event that I threw for a Rising Tide. Through Rising Tide, we created Sustainable Project. And through that, I found Guyanne. So I was doing something that I cared about. I was giving back to my community, a creative community. Through the creative community, I started working with Sustainable Project, literally helping the community find ways to live a more sustainable life and teaching them about sustainability and what that meant. Again, not intimidating. A lot of people think, oh, I'm not sustainable, but it's just little changes that you make. Then I got into clean beauty, and clean beauty is all about making a little change in your life. Whether, my situation is extreme. I'm not going to lie. I had a whole kit and a whole impressions vanity filled with $5,000 worth of makeup that I had to get rid of. That was a hard thing for me. Most women have a little makeup bag with maybe $100 worth of product. I mean, they have, a mascara, a lip gloss, a blah, blah, blah. And when they run out, they go and get another one. I had 40 lip glosses. Okay. I had to get rid of all this stuff. It was hard. It was grueling. And as an entrepreneur, it's like, I don't have money growing on trees like I do now with Beauty Counter. So it's interesting. So that's kind of like my journey, and it's all happening right now. And this podcast is because of that. Another way I'm giving back. I'm trying to reach more people by sharing experiences and stories from people who are trying to live a cleaner, better life and give back. And I have always given back. I mean, I don't have a specific organization. I have always given back to my community, to other artists, to listeners, to anyone who will listen, because I believe in what I've been doing since day one, which is making women feel beautiful. And I feel like this is a way to do that. You can feel good about putting makeup on. You don't have to feel guilty. And I honestly did feel guilty for a long time. I knew what Mac was doing. I knew what a lot of companies were doing on animals. I knew that in third world that they make children mine in like deep caverns to get mica and glittery shimmer things. And I knew once I know, I can't keep going with it. And I feel like working with someone with a company like Beauty Counter and someone like Guyanne, it opened my eyes up. And like, even though I don't know every ingredient, I still have to ask her a lot of questions, and I don't know everything. I'm not, some people think I'm an expert, and it's great. That title's awesome. Thank you so much. But you don't need to be one. You can change with a simple lotion or your hair products or what you're putting on your kids, because you don't know why you're breaking out, why you have pimples, why you have eczema, why you have psoriasis. I had psoriasis when I was going to the doctor. A lot of people don't understand that my head was flaking so bad. I was embarrassed. And then 2 weeks after I stopped using the products I was using from Walgreens, I literally didn't have that problem. I have not put a prescription medication on my head since. So that's my story. The proof is in what I did. And I didn't have I didn't have a special person telling me, and I couldn't afford to go to a dermatologist and all these fancy things. I literally was like, maybe this is the problem. And maybe what Guyanne said was true. And maybe the clean beauty movement isn't a crock of whatever. And so, I know a lot of people can't see physical results. I know that they might not feel like they have a problem. They're like, oh, I don't have eczema. I don't have psoriasis. I don't have skin problems. I don't have, breakouts. Okay. But I don't think people understand that I was using makeup since I was 12, and that these conditions were building up in my body for literally 10, 20 years. I mean, I'm 30. So I didn't know until I was 29 that literally my favorite store, Victoria's Secret, I've been slathering on lotion, literally the body wash, then the lotion, and then the spray. And then I would, have the little minis in my bag and just reapply all day long. And my body kind of gave up. It had enough. And it started kind of like saying, like, you're doing something wrong. My skin was all these things. So it's kind of like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was the product. And some people might go their whole life, but there's also those stories about people go their whole life with smoking, and then they die a happy death. Like, okay, 1%, we're not talking to you. Like, that's great. And I'm super happy for everyone that's not affected, but usually you're directly affected by this in some way, whether it's the environment or your lakes, your whatever, your kids, someone's breaking out, someone's having problems, whether it's your husband or your kids, somebody that's struggling with their skin, that can't figure out how to hydrate enough, who, things are getting sucked out of your skin, and you're putting so much toxic chemicals on your body that your body doesn't even have enough time to recover anymore. So it's literally crying for help. And then you end up in the hospital and you don't know what happened. And like the next day you're just like, I just spent $1,000 and I had to have something specially formulated with me to inject into my bloodstream because they're just saying that I'm allergic to allergies. Like, yes, I'm allergic to things, like, but the grass and pollen was not the problem. That's what they tried to tell me. And for several doctors to tell me that you have to come in for shots for a year and spend over $5,000, and at the end we'll try to figure out if that was the problem, was not okay with me. Especially when I want to have children eventually, and when I want to build my business and not have to sit in a doctor's office with a bunch of sick people for hours and hours while I waited to make sure that I was okay to drive. So what was your question?
Oh my God, this is what I love so much about you. Is I'm This was not intended to be our origin story, but it's turned into that, which is great because your journey is so relatable to so many people, and this is what happens. People are sick, people have issues, people go see doctors who can't figure out what's wrong with them, and they're like, oh, here, we'll fix it with a shot, or we'll fix it with a pill, or we'll fix it with this or that or the other thing. And even I, as someone who's been in this, been related to this movement, who's been a health and wellness advocate and aficionado and whatever, I don't know, whatever stupid titles you want to call it, like I've always known that the ingredients in our products matter, but I've always looked at it from a very long-term perspective. Like, I'm not going to use this stuff today because I don't want to die of something, icky when I'm 80.
Mhm.
It never even remotely occurred to me that someone could make such a huge shift in their health in a week of, like, literally just not using. And I've never seen anyone do that, and I've never personally recommended that because it's hard, it's hard, it's inconvenient, it's expensive to just, like, toss all your whatever,
It
like.
wasn't expensive for me because I didn't replace things. I literally went without. Like I said, I wasn't
Right.
using deodorant. I went without conditioner for about a week. I didn't have the money to just buy all this new stuff. But I did my own test, and I actually didn't. If I think about it, and I'm like, why did I choose to do that? Why did I choose to do my own detox? I really didn't know what I was doing or how to do it right. I just, like I said, I unplugged the things that were scented. I got rid of anything that was, even the cleaning products, like anything that I knew was toxic, and I was using the app to find out if anything was over like a 4, and I was like, I
Which app?
can't
Which app?
think dirty.
Mhm.
And I was literally looking at everything, and if I couldn't find it, I would look it up on EWG, and if I couldn't find it on there, I'd literally just put it in a box, and I said, it's going outside, I'm going to throw it away. And then I did the YouTube where I threw everything away. And a lot of people were like, why are you doing that? You should be taking it to like a facility. And it's like, okay, so you're telling me that instead of throwing it in the trash or putting it down the drain, I should take my products to a facility so that like a
Goodwill.
toxic, what?
Good, like, donate it?
No, they said I needed to properly dispose
Oh,
of all the
geez, like a
toxics.
biohazard, like,
Yes. And so I said,
disposal, like,
where the hell is that? And why would I rather put that on myself or put it down a drain, or instead of putting it in the trash, take it to a facility for them to properly dispose of it like it was a syringe? Like, are you that was the dispute on one of my YouTube comments. I was like, really? That's your recommendation? Shouldn't we be focusing on the bigger picture that this shouldn't be going on my skin? Like, I didn't know. I just was like, hey, I'm better. I'm doing a YouTube. I'm throwing all this stuff out. Peace to all this makeup and hair care products that I've been using for 10 years. Like, I literally feel like alive when I don't have this. Like, my eyes were literally foggy. I had a very blurry vision. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't smell anything. Like, I can literally taste food better. It's crazy that within literally 48 hours, I felt a difference, and within a week. And then within a week, I wasn't using the medication anymore. I threw it out because I knew what was in that stuff. I knew that that was way more toxic than my Garnier, but I didn't have the psoriasis. So it felt good to not itch. But you know what? We're going to come back to this because this was a bonus episode. So I want to do another one soon. But we'll bring Guyanne back on, and we want to go back more into this, but we're going to go and yes. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll do a part 2 soon, and that's it. But Guyanne didn't even technically get to interview me, so we'll come back
That's
and do that
okay.
later.
We need to hear more of your story. But this part was so good because it really I think it will resonate with a lot of people if if y'all can actually listen through it. It's so worth it because this is what happened. This is how it happens organically, how you have an experience and you're like, and you get one tiny piece of information that you take it and you run with it and you go down the rabbit hole and then you're just like, "Oh my god, this is it." And I mean, like I said, for as long as I've been kind of related to this, I've never talked to anyone for whom it has been that drastic of a change in such a short, like literally a few days. Like what
But I will say one of the deciding factors for me was also
Gene?
Jean. Jean was also one of those, like, telling me her story about how she actually went the full, to me, that's the full ride. Like, she actually got cancer. And I felt like that would have been me if I wouldn't have known. She just didn't know. And now she's working with me at Beauty Counter and she's doing very well. But she shares her story. And I was impacted. I was definitely moved by, like, whoa, you had cancer and you're using this? Like, to me, that was, come on. Like, I really, and my best friend Carmen had cancer and we had talked and she recovered. And, at 21 years old, like, she, of course, got better because, like, she had this, you know, whatever to fight it and it worked and she got really lucky. But not knowing what you're putting on your body is super important. Like, you have to know. And if you know, or you have someone in your life that, I had to take products from my mom that I'd been giving her for years. Like, I always got 30 something percent from Makeup Forever. I'd give her she loved the foundation and the mascara. I'm not saying that, like, these brands don't work. Like, they do, and they work so well that you have to scrub it off and it's like waterproof and like all this, there's no disputing that MAC makeup stays on underwater and it lasts 3 days if you don't wash it off. Like, but how healthy is that for you? And I had to work my mom off and get her into the Flawless and Five and, like, get her. And, it was really interesting that I sent, my mom doesn't like any products other than mascara. And so when I sent her a Flawless and Five, I was like, oh, this is going to go in her drawer underneath her sink. She's never going to use it, but it's worth the investment because maybe she'll like something. And it was really interesting that she actually got the free lotion with the Flawless and Five that I bought her. And she called me, which she never does, and said, I have never in my life used a lotion that has healed my hands. She's a delivery driver for the US Postal Service. She works really hard. She uses her hands her entire life. I grew up with her using Burt's Bees and, like, all these really intense creams and balms for her hands, and they were always super cracked. Like, I'll never forget the way my mom's hands felt. And she told me that Beauty Counter counter match, or it's the blue and white bottle, the one you get with the free, that it was transformed her hands and that she loved it. Now that I say that, I need to buy her another bottle. But she never has raved about a product. She doesn't like beauty products. She just uses her shampoo, conditioner, and her bar soap in the shower. She's very old school. She doesn't do any of that fancy, cute stuff. I don't know how I came out of her, but she literally doesn't wear anything. And she was raving about this lotion, and it really transformed and healed her hands, which is, I mean, it was crazy because I grew up, every Christmas I bought her a different hand cream, hoping that it would help her because she was in pain. And to me, it was like amazing to hear that because it just reinforced everything that I was doing all over again. So if you have someone that you care about and you love and that struggles with anything like that and is a hard worker, like, you should get them at least the lotion or like the cleansing balm, because those products really do work and they do transform. Even my mom's in her 50s. Like, it's not like she's like a teenager and just, like, cracked her hand. Like, my mom's hands, she's a hardworking woman. She worked her entire life. So for her to feel relief is like, I would pay $1,000,000 for that. So it's pretty amazing.
This episode is proudly sponsored by lashbinder.com, a patent pending tool that I developed to be the quickest, easiest, and safest way to apply lashes on yourself and clients. If you've ever tried applying lashes, you either use your fingers, which is pretty hard to master, a pair of tweezers, which can be super scary, or you were lucky enough to have a friend like me help you. Those days are long gone with Lash Binder, an applicator that'll have you looking fabulous in under a minute. Are you ready to say goodbye to expensive, damaging, and time-consuming lash extensions or hours spent in the mirror applying makeup? Don't you wish you could apply lashes easy and just go? Let your skin glow and your confidence skyrocket with the perfect pair of lashes applied with Lash Binder. Lash Binder is truly the lash tool you'll ever need. Be the first to get your hands on one today, exclusively at lashbinder.com. Be sure to find us on Instagram at lashbinder, LASHBINDER. Links in the show notes. Happy lashing! Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Clean Beauty Podcast. I'm so thankful for your support that I decided to start giving away $500 in custom curated clean beauty products each month. Do you want to win? Share why you love listening in a review on iTunes. Then screenshot that review and share it on your Instagram feed with the hashtag BAN1500. If you've already reviewed the podcast and still want to win, just repost the giveaway from the Clean Beauty Podcast Instagram feed, and you'll be re-entered to win in the next drawing. Good luck! For information on my tour schedule, upcoming events, press announcements, joining my Clean Beauty team, or to book me to speak at your next event, head over to my website, CassandraMcClure.com.